Welcome to the new RiverCityGamers Podcast, hosted by SCXCR and Well Unreal 007, as well as many other members from the RiverCityGamers website. Stay tuned for all the gaming news, new pickups, and everything else we feel like talking about on the RiverCityGamers Podcast.
Hey, señores y señores, bienvenidos a RiverCityGamers Podcast. Me llamo SCXCR.
Ah, fuck.
This again.
I'm Unreal. God.
I'm Blondeguygamer.
I'm Shadow Snake.
¡Qué divertido! Pero ahora tenemos que empezar Gaming News.
Gaming News! So real.
Didn't you do the Spanish gimmick before?
Probably.
I don't think so.
I know I did Japanese.
Yeah, that was probably it.
Yeah.
Let's begin Gaming News with, well, why not Quake? Actually, I have two things to talk about that are Quake related.
Sorry, is this in relation to the new game that's been announced?
They're both technically related, although one is actually for an older Quake game.
Okay.
Specifically, there's a new episode being made available to the original Quake.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I heard about this. This was made by... it was in particular made by the devs who worked on the newer Wolfenstein games.
So a new episode to a really, really old Quake game, that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, there are two reasons they're doing it. One, obviously promotion for the new Quake. And two, to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Quake. Which is a much better 20th anniversary than what Resident Evil got.
Well, that goes without saying, but I am curious about this. Is this like an add-on, or is this like a standalone new episode type of thing?
I'm not sure exactly. All I know is you can download it from Bethesda's website.
Okay, is it free?
I assume it's free.
Okay, because I have the
Yes,
original
it's
Quake
free.
on. Because I have the original Quake on Steam, so I was wondering how I'd be able to play the new episode if I were to play that and then want to play the new episode. But okay.
It kind of reminds me of like when Postal 2 did like that new DLC add-on. Like it's like, oh, it's a really old game. Let's like add this new episode to it.
Didn't Doom 2 do that with like the Xbox Live Arcade version?
I think?
But anyway, that's still cool that they're adding to that in celebration of the 20th year.
Yes, and in other Quake news, they've announced that Quake Champions is going to be PC only.
Alrighty.
Yeah, they were going... They pretty much mentioned that at E3, and like it's like, yeah, we're aiming for PC only, and it just seems like now that they're setting that in stone.
Specifically, creative director Tim Willits has a quote about why it's going to be PC only. And I'm just going to sum up some of this. He said that going from 30 to 60 is huge, but 60 to 120 is noticeable. Most of us, even me, I can't really tell the difference. But there are some players who are inhuman and can tell the difference. If we lose the pro guys, we're in trouble. That's why it's a PC game. No excuses, no limitations.
So they just want to focus on their core audience.
Was the 60 to 120 relation to like frames per second?
I have no idea.
That's just my guess.
I'm pretty sure it is frames per second. Honestly,
You know, I think it's a little ironic though, considering like, wouldn't like the really hardcore Quake players be a little skeptical over this new one because it's being made by different people?
Yeah.
You'd think.
But at the very least, or at least, you know, trying to appeal to the core audience, that they know that for a series like this, it would be PC centric. So might as well put everything in one basket, kind of thing, I guess.
And it saves a lot of money on producing the multiple versions on different consoles.
That too.
Moving on to other news, let's talk about sports balls.
Our favorite.
I don't want to.
Does anyone in this Skype chat right now know who Jim Brown is besides me?
I don't think so.
He was a running back for the Cleveland Browns in the 60s. Many regard him as one of the best football players, if not the best football player to ever play. And he's getting a $600,000 legal settlement from EA because they used his likeness without asking.
Oh, okay. Like, what was his likeness for? Like, a DLC character or something?
It was something they used in one of the Madden games.
Hmm.
This is setting kind of a weird precedent because they also had the lawsuit against them for the NCAA football games for using the likenesses of student athletes. And keep in mind, student athletes do not get paid.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, why would they want to? They wouldn't want to ask, otherwise they might pay.
Yeah, God forbid college students have money.
But they're in football; they have scholarships, right?
Yeah. It's not like they need money or anything.
And you don't need money for everything else.
Yeah, up until recently, those scholarships didn't put food on the table. Anyway, that's actually a big reason now why the NCAA football game franchise is dead.
Yeah, I mean, it would be like
Or, you know.
lawsuits up the ass for EA.
Let's move on to, well, I can't call it happier news, but a list of Street Fighter V characters that might have happened.
Oh lord.
These are from Capcom's cutting room floor. Let me know if you'd want to see these in the game.
Okay.
A literary master.
Okay.
So is he part of the book club that clubs people with books?
I just hope it's not the page master.
I would say yes, just to see how ridiculous it would look.
How about a fighting president?
You mean like something along the lines of Mike Hager?
Or
Sure, that'd be
Senator
fair.
from the Eternal Champion sequel?
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
I didn't even know that was in Eternal Champions, and I have the game.
How about a clumsy cutie whose clothes fall off in battle?
That sounds like a
Wow,
typical anime trope.
Yeah, and people thought, like,
Literally just anime.
well, one aspect of anime, but yeah, and people thought, like, the clothes or whatever of, like, a couple other female characters were controversial in Street Fighter.
A soccer fighter.
You mean like that one guy from Rival Schools?
Yes, Roberto from Rival Schools.
Yeah. Speaking of Rival Schools, like there's like that new beach stage for Street Fighter V, and in the background there's two background characters from Rival Schools, Hinata and that one cheerleading character. I forgot what her name was.
Oh.
Yeah, just look at a screenshot of like that beach stage, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
The teacher.
The teacher? You mean not just any teacher, but the teacher?
The teacher.
Are we hot for teacher?
Well, let me know what she looks like he or she looks like, and then maybe I'll consider it.
And a prototype Shadow Law officer.
One of the characters from Shadow War Succession.
To me, that just sounds like one of the generic grunts from Umbrella Corps, so I'm shooting it down.
Yeah, I'm shutting that down. It's like, remember that one Kemi lookalike? I forgot what that name was again for Street Fighter, for Ultra Street Fighter 4, where everybody lost their shit over it. And I don't think that would be a good idea to add.
There's still no Zubaz. I'll just say that.
There'll never be Zubaz or even Rage.
DiCaprio, that's the name. It just hit me.
We go from the cutting room floor of Capcom to the 2016 Ford Focus.
Okay, what does that have to do with video games?
Quirk Ford, based out of Massachusetts, sent out a promotional email where they can save up to $12,500 if they purchase a car at the Ford Freedom Sales event. The problem is, this email circulated back to the developers of Firewatch, who noticed, hey, they're using our art assets.
Oh, okay. It's one of those things.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I actually briefly heard about this, but
I think I
I don't
saw
think
it.
I saw, like, the evidence. And yeah, they totally stole it. They totally stole it.
Original advertisement, do not steal.
And according to the developers, this isn't art from a wallpaper or anything. It's from their old website. So it was directly lifted.
I can see exactly which spot they took, by the way. And it wasn't hard to find.
Well, that's pretty good when your graphic designer makes an ad using Google image search.
Oh my god. Like, I'm looking in the Twitter comments, and I think there's another place that ripped off Firewatch art.
Oh, geez, I didn't even check that.
Yeah, the landscape watch face. You see, and they're like, "Oh, good, fine, I'm gonna fuck them up." Oh, apparently Ford wasn't involved, with the advertising.
No, Ford.
So
The dealer initially said we got this art from Ford HQ, and Ford HQ said, "No, you didn't."
Try to cover up your tracks there,
oops.
Oops.
Mr. Freelance Advertiser.
Kind of makes me think, are people that lazy to design graphics at this point? They just have to use Google search.
I don't know.
Well,
Let's
graphic
ask
design is
Digital
my
Homicide.
passion.
Some people just are.
I think that's a solid note to end gaming news on. So why don't we go straight into upcoming releases? Let's see. Wow, there's not very much to work with this summer.
Well, it's summer, especially in July. There's not usually a whole lot.
There's really just only one game that's coming out within a couple of weeks that I think we all just care about.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, I know.
How about Romance of the Three Kingdoms 13 for PlayStation 4?
Wow,
Yeah.
they're still making those?
Yes,
Yes.
because Koei is still alive.
Apparently, I mean,
Okay.
that's the Dynasty Warriors is what's keeping them alive. And among other things, like, license.
Like Berserk Warriors now being a thing.
And now they're, and not to mention their Attack on Titan game, which is obviously going to gain some profit.
How about Valentino Rossi, the game?
What?
What is
What?
that even?
I think it's a racing game because there's a picture of a helmet on the cover
Okay.
and the Monster Energy logo.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, watch it just be monster trucks instead.
Or
Oh,
it's probably some European racing game. I'm gonna guess.
It's,
Arcade
it's,
seats $5.
Motorcycle racing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, I imagine that'd be big in Europe anyway.
That reminds me, when are we going to get a new Road Rash?
I don't know.
Whenever EA feels like it.
Let's go ahead and check the Wii U. Okay, there's nothing soon. Alright, let's go to the 3D. Okay, there's one game. And I think we all know what it is.
Well, yeah.
Give me an M. Give me an O. Give me a.
Give me a monster mix.
Monster
Yeah.
Hunter Generations.
Good.
We still
We'll
need
be
to
getting
finish
that.
4 Ultimate.
Dude, I'm just like one step away from G rank. Can we work on that?
Sure.
We can.
I need
Just
to
not
actually-
after the podcast, because I'm still like running on like empty right now.
Maybe after work I could probably join you guys or something.
Yeah, sure. So what's coming out on Vita? Oh,
Nothing. Instead, maybe
There's
just
not even a section for that anymore.
oh my god.
It's just Legacy. That's all there is.
Unless it's under cool stuff.
You can get the new Zero Escape game on. Oh wait, you can get that on Steam.
You can
yeah.
get it on 3DS, but you can also get it on PC.
Well, there's still games coming out for it anyway. At least a while ago, I think there was.
Yeah.
Wait, no. I opened electronics and I have a picture of a quadcopter.
Jahir InShot presents.
The only game I could probably potentially look forward to on the Vita is probably Partidita X, but even then, it's going to be on PS4 when I eventually get one. That is.
Isn't the Odin Spear remake on Vita?
Oh yeah, but you can get that on PS3, PS4.
Okay.
There's not really anything else except for RPG on the 3DS that I never heard of.
What would this RPG be?
7th Dragon 3 Code VFD.
I've only briefly seen about it. Isn't it like being published by Sega or something?
Yeah, and if you pre-order, you get the art book.
I already got the art books on many things. Nothing is beating the Bravely Second art book they sent you if you got that collector's edition. It's fucking ginormous.
Well, upcoming releases kind of petered out. Let's just go to recently played. Who wants to go first?
I don't know. I guess I could, because I only have really one game anyway.
All right.
Okay, so as we all know, the Steam sale came out for the summer, and one of the games I did get was the new Doom. And I've played some of it, and I've really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun.
You told me about you getting the PC version of Doom and how long it took to actually get.
Well, given my download speed and the fact that the game's over 40 gigabytes, it took me several days to download, but it was worth it. Yeah.
And
That's like me on Napster back in the day trying to download movies.
oh my god. I'm just saying it's a good thing you were playing Doom recently, because the recent patch did come out, and there were some cool things added in. Like they put central weapon placement like old Doom, and I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh, so you can have like the pistol coming out of your chest?
Yes, and the shotgun coming out of your chest, and they actually made the shotgun pumping animation like the original Doom, which I didn't think they would like put the effort in doing, but they totally did.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, yeah, this is pretty much a really good modern iteration of the classic Doom games. There's a lot of violence, a lot of gore. It's a very visceral experience, just running around shooting demons, and then you can like stagger them, and then you can just mash F or whatever to like just pretty much just punch them, pummel them, rip and tear. The weapons are really cool, and you can even get upgrades for those and different secondary fires. Those are a lot of fun as well. You got all the power-ups. There's exploration. There's collectibles you can find in secrets. The platforming is actually really good too, because there is platforming, and you can grab ledges and stuff, and you get a double jump. The game makes really great incentive to have you go towards different challenges, and finding everything gives you upgrade points to upgrade your secondary fires and your suit and all this stuff. It's a really well made, fun game in that sense. I've only played some of the single player so far, but I heard the snap map was pretty cool too, in that you just kind of make your own maps and even little campaign stuff like in Time Splitters. There's also multiplayer, but I haven't really messed with that because, well, I'm not really a competitive multiplayer guy, so I don't really see myself doing that. But I'd say if you liked the Doom games, this is definitely something you should go for. I'm having a lot of fun with it so far, and yeah, rip and tear.
Can't wait to actually try it myself.
Well, it is on sale on Steam still, but well, of course, by the time the podcast goes up, I think the Steam summer sale will be over, but it's still there.
Yeah, at least I got Doom on the sale.
Can I go next?
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
This is actually just the demo for a game, but it did just about everything to convince me not to buy the game. Are any of you familiar with a 3DS game called Ironfall Invasion?
Wait, isn't that the fucking Gears of War shooter on 3DS?
You could call it that.
Oh god.
I think I've heard of it.
The Gears of War without effort.
Oh, that sounds very fun.
It's generic, aliens invaded, go do something about it sort of thing. The voice acting is low rent even for like indie standards. We're talking, what's a good example? I'd say it's half a step above Chaos Wars. But anyway, the actual gameplay is, I don't know why they did this for a 3DS, but it's like an over-the-shoulder shooter style. So you move with the circle pad, and you have to look around using the stylus on the screen at the bottom. And you don't look around quickly. It's incredibly sluggish to try and turn your character or look up or down.
Does this game have Circle Pad Pro support? Because all I know is that it works with the new 3DS and its analog nub. That's why it was being advertised for it.
It does have Circle Pad Pro support.
Okay. Did you try it?
Yeah, it was still really sluggish.
Okay.
But what sucks is if you don't have a Circle Pad Pro, there are buttons at the bottom of the screen for snapping into cover and reloading and switching weapons. So if you try looking around, you can accidentally end up doing either of those.
So is like the touchscreen used to maneuver the camera as an alternative if you don't have the Circle Pad Pro?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that broke it for me. You don't have a health meter. Or you don't have, like, Halo health, where you get shot some and then it regenerates. Not in the traditional sense.
Okay, I hate to be that guy, but that was shields, not health.
There was a health meter under it, so I'm calling it Halo health.
Well, that's regenerating health, but yeah, I know what you mean.
You don't have that in this game. You have a heart rate monitor. And if your heart rate goes too high, you die.
What is this, fear effect?
You get shot, your heart rate goes up. You move, your heart rate goes up. You run, your heart rate goes up. You fire, your heart rate goes up.
You do anything, your heart rate breaks.
How do you get it to go down? You just stand still?
You just stand still or hide in cover.
Fuck off.
And if your heart rate gets too high, do you get a heart attack or something?
Heart attack.
So, no, don't worry that you're getting shot. That won't kill you.
Just worry all about your heart. Else you'll be into cardiac arrest.
And as a minor gripe, there's also this stupid little mini game you have to play every time you reload your gun. Or like a meter's going by, and it's like the light stopper game. You gotta stop it in a certain area, and that gives you a faster reload.
Gears of War. Yeah, Gears of War did that. They
It's
pretty much just ripped
literally
that off.
just the active reload.
Also, the demo's kind of broken.
Actually, you know what this is?
Wait, how's the demo broken?
Because I completed it, and then I tried going back to play it again on a different difficulty. It just spawns me at the end of the demo.
What?
Also, isn't Ironfall... Wait, like, they put it back on the eShop? I remember that game being available, like temporarily, but they had to remove it because it actually caused homebrew exploits. I mean, it's not the only game on 3DS that has had that issue of being vulnerable to, like, homebrew exploits, but I know that was definitely one of them.
Well, that's the Ironfall demo.
So, in terms of Gears of War ripoffs, is this better or worse than Quantum Theory?
I don't know, because I haven't played Gears of War or Quantum Theory.
I would still argue Quantum Theory is worse. Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm not willing to try Ironfall.
Yeah. I mean, I've only played the demo of Quantum Theory. I don't know if I even want to play the demo of this.
I
so-
went through the full game of Quantum Theory, and I still don't know why. I blame Jim Sterling. It was his fault. Because he's actually the one that made me hear about the game. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Koei's attempt to make a Western-style game.
Well,
Well,
now
that
for
would- yeah.
something completely different. I also played a rhythm game called Inside My Radio.
Oh yeah, I've seen you stream it now and then.
It's a graphically very simple game, and what it is it's a platformer where everything is done to the rhythm of some music that's playing. And it also has a bunch of parts of the environment which trigger different things and behave differently according to like certain things that happen in the music. I've played a bunch of platforming games in the past, and it took me a while to get used to the whole you have to jump and dash and platform according to a certain rhythm. So there's a learning curve with that. Although they do have a way to help you out. There's like a rhythm helper metronome that you can turn on and off in the game to help out. I enjoyed it for what it was worth. The story is incredibly simplistic. Basically, you're a spirit that gets sucked into a boombox because there's some sort of like weird virus type thing that's destroying the world inside of it. And you play as 3 different characters, although they all control exactly the same. And basically do various rhythm puzzles. But like I said, I enjoyed it for what it's worth. It's not a particularly long game, so I'd only recommend getting it if you can get it on sale. Also, the time attack mode is complete horseshit.
How so?
If you look at the Steam achievements, they make this sort of illusion that you can get through time attack and fuck up a couple of times and still get through it. You pretty much need to be dead on perfect, planning out everything through each stage. Because the levels are kind of long, and in time attack there are no checkpoints.
One of those
Sounds-
things.
Sounds like a huge endurance.
Yeah, they have time bonus things that you can pick up along the way, and some of them are kind of placed out of the way as if you don't have to get them, but you can. No, you have to get them. So, time attack mode, really didn't like it, but the actual single-player campaign I enjoyed.
And the music is good, I take it?
Yeah, it's like techno-electronica sort of music. So if you're into that, that might sway you one way or the other on this.
When you were describing this game, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Crypt of the Necrodancer, which I played a little bit of, but I need to go back to it.
It's on my wish list. I'm still on the fence about whether to get it.
I bought it during the sale. I haven't played it yet.
Well, I'll keep thinking about that while somebody else talks about their recent pickups.
I guess I'll go. I've recently been playing Overwatch. I'm skipping that because everyone knows already. Like, they already know how that's turning out. So, yeah, it's a good game. Next, it's a good. I don't want to go too much into Overwatch. I just wanted to briefly bring that up. I'll slightly go into two other games though. I'll start with Tokyo Mirage Sessions a little bit.
I've been curious to hear what you think about this.
Okay, so the most I played was the first hour, or in terms of the game, all I did was play the prologue before I stopped, because I don't remember if I'd worked that day or not. I also bought Overwatch the same day. I don't know why, but so far I'm pretty positive on it, and that's mainly because I'm really liking the battle system in the game. It's good. It's really solid. Now, I'm not sure how it compares to Persona or SMT, as I have never played any of those. As of right now, the way how the battle system works in terms of weaknesses, and that if you exploit weaknesses, you can set up combos, which they call sessions in this game, and you can just have one attack after the other if you hit an enemy's weakness. The most I've gotten so far, and I'm pretty sure it could go on later on in the game, is like 3 with like one attack. And that went into play with like one of the game's bosses.
Just to interrupt for a moment, that is kind of something that's in Persona or SMT. There's a system where you can use a weakness of an enemy to knock them down, and then that'll give you like an extra turn or two.
Yeah, because when we were describing that, that definitely remind me so much of the Shin Megami Tensei games.
Now, so far, this game is not anal busting like SMT, so I'm already on board. That might change immediately. I don't know. I don't know how they're doing difficult. There's like 3 difficulty modes in this game, and I went for normal. There's really not that much for me to talk about outside of that. So far, like, the translation seems fine. Well, I can't read Japanese. I can't tell how accurate it is, but Atlas doing the translation, it seems fine enough. Although there are quips in battle that the characters do in Japanese, and they did not subtitle those. So we have no idea what they're talking about during battles, which is kind of weird.
I know how I felt in Tales of Destiny.
Oh, Jesus. Well, yeah, I honestly don't have that much to go on. Oh, well, the Fire Emblem stuff I could briefly touch on. It still has the weapon triangle in that from the Fire Emblem games too, so, you know, I forget what the exact order is, but the whole lance, sword, and axe thing is in play in this game, as well as the elemental weakness stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Leveling up is Fire Emblem, straight up. As in, it's RNG, and if you decided this, if you wanted to be a Fire Emblem player, you can just save before you level up, and if you get a shit level, just reload. Keep in mind, you can save anywhere in this game, which is really convenient. And especially with the Fire Emblem leveling system, I think some players would probably just like take advantage of that if their gained level is bad. But yeah, someone did test it. It is RNG for like stat increases and stuff like Fire Emblem. Like, they tested it out, like, yep, it's not fixed.
Level up, you gain 1 HP, that's it.
Yep, time to fucking reset your 20-hour save because you haven't saved in 20 hours. Oops.
Oh, that's gonna be so much fun.
Who does that in RPG? Come on.
Fire Emblem players.
Yeah, especially since when you're playing with especially when you're playing classic playthroughs. You're gonna need all the best stats you can get.
The visuals are growing on me. It has a style and it knows it, and I like after getting over the fact that this is what the SMT Fire Emblem crossover like came out to be, looking a little more into it, I'm starting to kind of appreciate it more because it's not just what happens when the SMT men go in Fire Emblem times or vice versa. This is actually kind of a little more interesting. It's just taking the concepts and stuff. I'm not a person that really cares about Japanese idol stuff, but it's not really bugging me that much. It's still like weird to like see, but I'm just like, whatever. I'm killing demons. And also, for some reason, I kept playing Blue Dragon music over the battles when I was playing.
Well, you should do that for every game.
Yeah, just put the boss fight music on random encounters. I'm like, why is this fitting? Maybe because it's an RPG. I don't know.
Well, isn't the music in the game good as it is? So.
Well, I mean, like from what I've heard in the game so far, yeah, it is good, and I'm talking in terms of the original like soundtrack, the stuff I've heard in battles / dungeons. It sounds like an Atlas game in that regard. Shadow would know more than me, so if he had the balls to pick up this game,
I actually bought it, but I just haven't played it yet.
Oh, I have the special edition. It's actually way smaller than I thought it was going to be.
I didn't really bother to get the special edition. I just wanted a copy.
If you want to know the relative size of the special edition, it's about the same size as Fire Emblem Fate's special edition. I was expecting it to be Xenoblade size, but part of me is kind of glad Xenoblade's still the biggest one.
Mm-hmm. But as far as
the biggest one outside of Bravely Second.
I gotta say, you've encouraged me to actually give it a shot. I mean, maybe after we do Monster Hunter after work, I'll probably give it a playthrough at least to the full.
Yeah, play a little bit of it. It's not exactly slow at the beginning. Believe me, I played like slow opens before, and this is not slow. It's not fast either. It's okay paced.
I mean, as long as I expect JRPGs to have a slow beginnings, but if it can somewhat have like a decent pace in the intro, then I can tolerate it.
One very last thing with the game is that the gamepad. There's like cell phone conversations on the gamepad, and it's really funny how they handled it. Because depending on like who you're talking to, it seems like it fits their character. Like, one of your friends likes Japanese Sentai stuff, and he has emojis for that. And the girl character just freaks out over forgetting about a math test, and I'll just text you what she does. That's literally it. Just it's like one of the Serious Sam suicide bombers just hijacked the account. Man, I was not expecting to talk that much about Sharp FE, because I wanted to talk a little bit more about one other game, which is why I shoved Overwatch to the side. Now, I'll try and be quick with this one. So, I'm near the end game of Yakuza 5, finally.
Oh.
Yeah. If you're wondering if you're wondering why I had trouble staying up, I went to bed at like 5:30.
Jesus.
I know, I couldn't stop, but it just kept going, and I'm still not done.
Yeah, because
it's getting crazy. Like, there's like 50 billion twists going on at once in this finale. It's so insane. The story hooked me, and I don't have that much backstory with the older games, but I sort of pieced stuff together. Yeah, I was not expecting Yakuza 5 to be this long of a game. I'm like over 40 hours into it, and haven't done that much side stuff. I have done some, but not extensively so. But I think the length is mainly because of the cutscenes, but I'm actually so invested into the plot that it's okay with me in some cases. But in terms of me staying up as late as I did, I'm like, oh my god, please! I need to get to a safe point so I can go to bed!
And I overslept.
Well, it's not the latest I've stayed up. Back when we had our gaming center over here, done all-nighters that went to like 7 in the morning. So this is nothing, but since it's been so long since then, it's just like, oh god, oh man. I pretty much played as every possible character that it gives you. They all have different fighting styles. The game is really fun, which is why I prompted to pick up the other games, and I'm looking forward to Yakuza 0 next year as a result, and I'm kind of hoping we get Yakuza 6. At least with 0, we're getting a physical release on PS4, and I'm like, sure, I'll buy it like when it comes out, just based on that alone.
Yet another reason to get a PS4 now.
I'm probably gonna beat the game today, since I'm relatively close, but man, I know what I'm doing after the podcast, and that's going to bed again.
And then maybe go back to finishing Yakuza 5.
Maybe. There's
We have Monster Hunter.
Well, yeah, there's Monster Hunter. That's all I got from me. I'm pooped.
Alright, so I guess it's my turn now.
The other one left, so yeah.
Okay, so aside from my casual grinding of Fire Emblem Fates, yeah, I still play that, despite being all 3 campaigns. I have 2 games I want to talk about. I'll start with Dragonball Xenoverse. Now, I picked up this game at a sale, not this particular sale that's going on right now, or which will more likely be over by the time this podcast is uploaded. And I gotta say, it is one of the more interesting Dragon Ball Z games I have played in a long time. I mean, I do like a good amount of the Dragon Ball Z games, but Xenoverse just has like that certain appeal to me that really kept me going. Granted, I still need to finish it, but I think I'm somewhat close to the end. The main appeal of Dragon Ball Xenoverse is be able to create your own character. Granted, it's not the first Dragon Ball game to do that. I do know that there was one particular fighting game that did that in Dragon Ball, but I just don't remember exactly what it was. But I think Xenoverse actually handles it a lot better, where you can pick multiple races, and you can even like customize your attributes. Granted, it's not recommended you go for a balanced character, because trust me, you're gonna need to like know what role you want to play. And also, I highly recommend you invest a lot in health, because bosses can pretty much easily kill you if you're not careful. Essentially, the gameplay is somewhat along the lines of the earlier Tenkaichi games, but it controls a lot better. And I do also like that there's like so many accessories you can use to customize your character. And pretty much the story, of course it's going to retell like all the events that you pretty much all know in the original Dragon Ball Z anime show. But in this case, it's like your avatar character just goes back in time and makes sure the timeline doesn't fuck up. That's essentially the story. It's basically your time patrol, pretty much it. But aside from that, that's pretty much all I had to say about it. I could go into further detail, but I want to move on to another game. But I'd say, since the sale is still ongoing, I'd say give it a shot if you like Dragon Ball Z. I also want to finish it before Xenoverse 2 comes out, because I am kind of curious to see what Xenoverse 2 is going to offer on the table. Okay, my second game is Azure Striker Gunvolt, the Steam version. I had this game I got this game last year, and I played a lot of it, but I got stuck at the final boss and it kept kicking my ass. So I kind of pulled it off for a bit, and with the whole Mighty Number 9 issue been going on for the last week or so, it kind of motivated me to actually give this game another shot at being the final boss. And the game has a leveling up system where you can just keep replaying levels or keep doing challenges to build yourself up, which is a nice feature. So that way you can be better prepared for harder stages. And believe me, I needed to do some grinding, so I managed to find the perfect equipment to beat the final boss actually. And surprise, surprise, I didn't get the true ending. And the way to get the true ending is kind of I wouldn't say it's terrible, but I just think it could have been done a lot better. But let's just say it just had to go through all the stages, collect these certain hidden crystals or whatever, do some stuff, and just fight the final boss. But yet I had to unequip my defense item and place this plot device necklace just to get to and beat him, which wasn't very easy. And then play one final true stage. And what do you know, it felt such a great accomplishment to actually finally finish it. But aside from the grueling final boss, Azure Striker Gunvolt is a really, really fun game. It's challenging, it's very rewarding, and it's very fast-paced. And for what I've seen from Mighty Number 9, and granted, NT Creates was also involved with Mighty Number 9, I could say with proper confidence, Azure Striker Gunvolt is a much better game. And it's definitely worth a shot. And since I now finished it, I am now looking forward to Azure Striker Gunvolt 2. I might cave in and probably get it on 3DS, but I would prefer to be consistent and get it on Steam, but we'll have to see. But with that, that's pretty much all I have to say.
You bringing up Mighty Number 9 made me forget that I actually played through the game.
Yeah.
I'd rather not talk about it, though.
Well, we're not going to
I
talk
did too,
about
but
it.
Yeah.
I'll say that for video updates.
Actually, we're going to our discussion topic right now, which is about as far away from that as you could get. Because I mentioned Resident Evil earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to the Umbrella Corps route.
Yay, thank
Good,
God.
please don't go there. I don't want to get mad.
There was an email that was sent out recently as part of the Resident Evil Ambassador program. And in it, they teased something about the RE7 demo. And for those of you who haven't seen them, I'm going to link it in the chat. Now, there's been a lot of speculation about what the hell you're supposed to do in the demo. And this is just confusing people even more.
Yeah, I got that email. And I'm just like, oh, fuck off.
There's speculation about the dummy finger and you can't use it anywhere. Is it going to be used for something? And then they tease this about a certain finger with... I'm just going to put the image up on the podcast, but I'll describe it anyway for people who are listening outside of that. It's a black and white photo of a dummy finger laying on top of a desk calendar, which is obscured by several items. Most notably, a piece of paper which says the path for now is closed, but patience. There's also a wallet with a key ring and a key on top of it, and there's blood splattered on a particular date. But we can't see what it is. So put on your creative thinking hats and try to figure out what the fuck this means.
So like, okay, so the thing with this, I'm hearing speculation that the demo might be updated because it may connect more into the full release than what we have now with beginning hour. Because the calendar says September, but it looks like it's in a spot where you can't see the date even if it was in the upper left corner. So it may actually mean October because of how calendars work if you space it out like that. But the reason I think they might update it is because there was a video that some guy managed to glitch one of the attic doors to open, and it's like one of the doors that was barred closed. But this guy was confused at how he managed to like have it open, but you could see through it. There was a room in there, and it was fully textured. So, like, that was the biggest thing we've ever gotten from that demo, and there's no way to access it. So that's why people are speculating maybe they're gonna update something to get that, to add something in there. And right now they just have an empty room as a placeholder. It's more plausible than going outside, because there was a video of someone glitching to get outside and the textures were unfinished and looked like shit because you're not supposed to actually go out there. Whereas the attic room was way more detailed and looked finished despite being completely empty and barred off from that one door. So there's a lot to go on, or Capcom's just fucking with us and, lying. But as of right now, it's not much to go on other than this tease. They're just fucking with us.
Well, they're just being purposely cryptic, just to throw us in for a loop, I guess.
I mean,
well, it's working. It's getting buzz about the fucking game.
It's getting people to talk, so I guess a success.
The question remains, though, what exactly would you use the finger for?
Well,
would it be a puzzle item of some kind?
It seems like it would unlock something. Mainly because at the very end, there's like 3 like, how would I describe this? Like
Prongs?
like 3 teeth, like triangle teeth, like at the very end. Like I even went into the demo myself. Someone already found it, but I looked at it myself and I'm like, yeah, it's not their eyes playing tricks on them. There are teeth at the end of that. So it could be used as some sort of weird ass key, or it was just teeth to connect, finger to hand on the dummy. Who knows? Maybe they'll put an actual dummy in there to put the finger in that one room. If the whole updating the demo September October thing ends up being true.
Isn't that a long way off to put the update for the demo though?
I don't. That's the thing. Like, well, they probably could. Nothing's stopping them. But
Maybe it's not an update. Maybe it's an announcement of some other kind.
maybe the other big thing is staying with the ambassador program. Although not having Barry Burton under favorite character list is a little concerning. Capcom.
That was very, very odd for them to do that.
Just put it down as other if you care that.
Yeah,
much.
especially since he was in Revelations 2.
Yeah, the most recent new installment that, well, not counting that other game.
Well, no, of course not. Who would?
That other game which already has a barren online user base.
Less players than Battleborn. Put that on the back of your box, gearbox. It's like more players than Umbrella Corps. I got nothing else to go on with this.
I really don't have a lot to really add because one, I've never played the Resident Evil 7 demo, and I haven't really signed up for the ambassador program at all. So I don't think there's much of anything I can add.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really play the demo because I don't have a PS4, so...
Well, neither do I. I've just been watching other people.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're still planning to release the demo on PC and Xbox One.
Oh, in that
I don't
case.
know when, or like how soon or late they're gonna do it. Part of me's thinking, it'd be weird if they put the demo out in that September October time frame for the other platforms.
That's a ways off.
Yeah, it is. And that's concerning, but maybe, just maybe, what if they update the demo around the time it's accessible to more platforms? Instead of just like having PS4 only users be able to solve everything, they want to get people who don't have a PS4 to get in on it more.
I would actually.
Then maybe they'll do something. That never really crossed my mind until now, actually.
I mean, with more platforms available to play the demo, that way, we would
Well,
be able
keep
to...
in mind, once the demo's on PC, people will data mine it to shit, so...
Yeah, that's unavoidable.
Now, correct me
Will be
if
the
I'm wrong, Unreal, but the door to the attic that you mentioned, isn't it boarded up?
That's what I mentioned. It's boarded up, but the guy managed to get the door part, the white door part, not the boards. The boards were still there. The door was managed to get open so he could look through the board, but he can't get through it. And in the video, it's like whacking at the fucking board, desperate to get in because it was one of the biggest fucking discoveries, and it was a glitch. Granted, when he went away, the door closed back up. The other reason I think it is an accessible door eventually is because every door in the demo that you can open up is colored white. Not counting the back door that's red, because that just ends the demo for you. But in terms of everything else, all interactive doors that you can open is white, including that one. So there's something, but they probably didn't put it in yet.
Well, I was going to ask a question which none of us can possibly answer, which is,
Okay.
how much exactly is this going to relate to whatever Resident Evil 7 turns out to be? Is this going to be like a PT situation where it actually doesn't have very much to do with it, even though we never saw the completed game?
The reason I don't want to speculate is because based on interviews, they pretty much said this demo, in terms of characters, I think, and the setting of where you are is not related but concepts are related. How puzzles may work, with the axe, some form of combat. The fact that it will be completely in first person is another concept. You have inventory in this game and it's limited. Certain items take more slots, kind of like Resident Evil 0 in a way, or even some other installment.
0 or 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 6.
Wait, no, I know in Resident Evil Remake there aren't items that take 2 slots. I don't know about classic RE1, or I'm pretty sure RE2 has RE2 has double slot stuff, and I think even 3. But you know what I mean. I think 0 was the most blatant with it, though, with the weapons and items and stuff.
Or Code Veronica?
Code Veronica. Ooh, I don't think Code Veronica actually had. Oh wait, no, it did, the sniper rifle and shit. Not the rocket launcher, believe it or not. Yeah, a lot of all the interviews I've seen or read up on pretty much explain what they needed to. This is just kind of I guess I want to say proof of concept, although I'm pretty sure the overall story is going to be connected because of the whole family aspect. I think that's going to be a main plot point, and they only briefly touch upon it here, but we're never going to see these guys again. They're fucking dead.
Well, I think that's generally assumed.
Well, yeah, pretty much. Although the one concept I'm curious about, I have no idea if the final game's going to touch more on the VHS time travel aspect. That could be a concept in the full game, or it could just be a thing here. It's hard for me to gauge that. It could go either way on that aspect.
Well, if they do that, I hope it doesn't turn out to be like what happened in the original Siren with jumping between different people. Because you had to do some ridiculous shit, which kind of followed old adventure game, how the fuck am I supposed to figure this out logic.
Well, it's less mind jack and more watching tapes, although the logic with opening locks through videotape to unlock it in present time also isn't quite realistic if you think about it. If anyone wants to look up what we were talking about with the door glitch, it's just called Resident Evil 7 WTF.
Well, I think that's a good note to close this discussion on. Because, quite frankly, I don't know what else we could add.
Well, considering that, it's just the demo and it's still a lot of speculation, so we really just have to wait and see.
I'm curious to see how big the whole game's gonna be, because they said that this demo is much smaller scale, so we could get what a mansion in RE7.
I'm just essentially going to have a wait and see attitude with Resident Evil 7, but as far as from what I've heard from the demo, my feelings are mostly positive, so I'm looking forward to it.
In the meantime, let's get into viewer questions. And we have 2! First question from Down Phoenix, old buddy. Do you think Nintendo can be successful via a new gimmick for the NX, or do you think they'll need to provide more beefy hardware and improve third-party relations to be successful?
Well, that is a bit of a hard question to answer, at least that we know of, for something like the NX, because we still don't really know a whole lot about it, and it's going to be coming out next year, so I think it's pretty much guaranteed that it's going to be kind of a gimmicky type of system anyway, because it's supposedly like a hybrid of a handheld and a console. Now, whether or not it'll be more powerful than the Wii U, I'm going to assume it will be. But whether or not that'll actually improve third party to hop on board and do that would be, that's a whole nother situation. Because third party, ever since the N64 for Nintendo has not been really that strong. It got a little bit more in the GameCube and the Wii, but still not really all that much if you think about it. So I don't know how well third party will be any better on the NX, really.
I think we're just assuming that Nintendo's going to keep doing some sort of gimmick with each recurring generation of consoles. I think that's kind of a given. But
yeah,
they're obviously going to have more beefy hardware, if only because computer technology is constantly evolving, and the stuff that was the newest, latest, greatest technology is going to drop in price, and Nintendo likes to be cost-effective with their console design, so it's not going to be like the most up-to-date hardware. I don't even know if it's going to be up-to-date with whatever Microsoft or Sony does down the line, but it's obviously going to be more powerful than the Wii U. As for third-party relations, I have kind of a backwards logic on this, which is Nintendo has been... I mean, obviously the third-party relations haven't been great, but they haven't done as well taking advantage of their own first-party franchises. Like, they're obviously pimping the hell out of Mario, but we haven't seen, like, for example, a Metroid game, a traditional Metroid game, in a long time. We haven't seen F-Zero since the GameCube.
Game Boy Advance, actually.
Yeah, actually, the GBA.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about the GBA. GameCube. Well, you just completely derailed my train of thought.
Sorry, you were saying about, like, first-party games that need to come to the NX?
Yeah,
First was Met.
yeah, because there are people who are fans of those and would buy the console if they knew that something like that was going to come down the line. But there's been no assurance of that, and with Metroid, they've taken it into the direction of a spin-off without hinting that there's going to be anything like more directly related to the series they have, either regular or Prime or anything like that. So I think if they can do a better job locking up those fans, more third parties would be interested to come to the system in the first place.
Oh, so you're saying that if there are more support for first party, third party would be on board?
Maybe not support so much as diversity.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the thing, though. Nintendo does have a lot of franchises to deal with, and they're always going to be the Mario, and we got the upcoming Zelda, and when it comes to everything else, though, it has been a little bit sporadic, I guess.
My thoughts on this question are pretty much very similar to how you guys feel. I mean, we can all agree that when it comes to third-party support with Nintendo consoles in general, well, going from N64 to onwards, hasn't been the greatest. But I do at least expect the hardware to be at least powerful than the Wii U. I cannot speculate how powerful it will be, but my only expectation is that it just be at least powerful than the Wii U, but yet also be somewhat on par with what today's standards will be for 2017, but not completely, just sort of there. Now, I do expect I expect some sort of gimmick with the NX, because that's probably inevitable. But the thing is, though, I just don't know what that gimmick would be, unless I see the console myself. The only thing I would like to ask Nintendo is, I would actually be fine with it being called the NX, because, let's be honest here, we could all agree that the names the Wii U and the new 3DS were not very good names.
Well, they're also confusing names, because for a long time people thought, oh, this is just like an upgrade for the Wii, or some sort of download or attachment to it, and that wasn't the case.
Mm-hmm. It's just like, I'm just asking Nintendo to do a better job naming their consoles, that way people can differentiate them from one console to another when it comes to Nintendo. But it seems like I sometimes have to think that maybe be a hard thing to do even for Nintendo, and I just don't know how hard that could possibly be, or just, coming up with a different name for each platform.
I don't think it's so much the name, it's just that they need to advertise it better. That was the problem with the Wii U.
Mm-hmm. And also the new,
because they were trying to cater to like the Wii audience and say, hey, here's the new Wii U, without really specifying that it's a brand new console, more like it's a new experience.
Mm-hmm. And that's been like one of the major things that's been kind of plaguing the Wii U. Granted, I like the Wii U. I think it's a very good console. I just don't think its full potential can be fully utilized due to how many obstacles it's been facing over the years. And since we're now getting a new console, it kind of makes me want to think that maybe the Wii U is maybe Nintendo's weakest console to some extent, but not necessarily. I wouldn't
really say that in any capacity, really.
As someone who has a Virtual Boy in the closet.
Okay, well, I said one.
Yeah.
I said one, not the, but I know that's going a little bit far-fetched there, but all I'm just gonna say is, you know, it'd be wishful thinking if they could improve third-party support, but let's just hope they come up with a better name, and let's all wish for the best for the NX, and you know, let's actually maybe bring some light to some of the other franchises which hasn't been getting much attention over the years.
Actually, going back to what you said, SCR, about how it needs to have, you know, a solid first-party support for all the franchises all around. I would say yes, but part of me feels like they do at least try with some, but some work more than others for them. Like, for example, Star Fox Zero. While I do like that game, and I'm sure some people do as well, it didn't really do all that well reviewed sales-wise, or at least not what they expected. And that was like a long-awaited, like, you know, new Star Fox game, even though it is essentially a remake of 64. But then again, 64 was a remake of the original anyway, so like whatever. And when it comes to stuff like Metroid Prime, you know, Federation Force, I'm still interested, but I do agree that at least that if you want to have the Metroid fans on board for like the new system, then you probably should announce a new Metroid game of some capacity to that as well. Of course, they're still not as salty as the Paper Mario fans. I'll just say that, but that's a whole bee's nest I don't even want to stir up right now. Exactly, because that series still getting new games, but it's like the complete opposite of what the diehard fans of the first two Paper Marios don't want. And I like Paper Mario, but it's like, jeez, Salt City. But in Sticker Star, I understand its issues that it had. I don't think it's like complete shit, but then again, I know I don't want to argue with people about that because it'll just be salt everywhere. But despite me derailing a little bit there, really it's just we gotta see what the NX really has to offer, and then hopefully people will be on board for it. Is there anything you want to say?
I literally have nothing else to add. You guys pretty much covered all the bases here.
All right, well,
I'm sure you want a new F-Zero for the NX, maybe.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Well, who knows? Maybe they will. Maybe they'll surprise us.
I doubt it. If Miyamoto's still at Nintendo, there's no way.
Well, he's not like in charge of all the franchises.
Yeah, but according to him, we can't. There's nothing new we can do with it. I'm like, yes, there is, but you don't have to, like, you know.
Get the guys that made Fast Racing Neo to make a new F-Zero for you.
Yeah, Christ, I'd rather have that.
well, moving on to the next question. Perhaps a human asked, which U.S. president's life do you think would make the best video game, and what would that video game be like?
You sure like your U.S. president questions, don't you? Perhaps a human, if you even are a human.
Abraham Lincoln. Although, spoiler alert, you kind of die at the end. What would the video game be like? Maybe that vampire hunting Abe Lincoln movie, was that what?
Yeah.
There's your answer. Just a video game adaptation of that. I would have just said President Evil, based on this one joke from one episode of Billy and Mandy. But I'll go with the Abe Lincoln vampire hunter thing.
Okay, I'm just gonna stick with Canadian Prime Ministers, just because I'm the one Canadian here. I'm just adding a twist to this question. That's all. If I were to make a game based off of a Canadian Prime Minister, you know what? I'm gonna go with Pierre Trudeau. And what I'm gonna do is that because he was good friends with Fidel Castro from Cuba, is that his name?
If it is who I'm thinking of, yes.
Okay, since he was good friends with that and often visited Cuba, I'm gonna just make a game like Just Cause. There's my answer.
I'm going to go a little abstract on this one and say Andrew Jackson, because Jackson had an interesting life in presidency. He did many things which backfired terribly, Like, most notably, he didn't like the idea of a U.S. bank, so he did away with that, and then the economy tanked. So what I'm thinking is, you take Andrew Jackson's life and you structure it like Braid, because he turns out to be the bad guy after all.
Oh, jeez. That's spoilers for Braid, but okay.
What the fuck ever? It's been out forever.
Well, some years, yeah, okay.
I'm probably gonna go with Ronald Reagan because he was like one of the only presidents that goes from actor to president. I probably would like to make a game like that of where your goal is like you start as an actor and you work your way up to president or something, and maybe just add some twist mini games of him, acting in movies or whatever. But basically, like, I don't know, where you play like first-person shooter missions or whatever, like a hybrid.
Oh, you know what else you could do? Ronald Reagan was the first president who was elected in a year ending with a 0 who didn't die or get killed in office. So you could have like QuickTime events of him dodging bullets from potential shooters.
That would work. It's like, foil assassination attempts. So yeah, that would be my pick.
Be like that Secret Service game, only you're the president.
You mean I can dodge bullets? Well, when I'm president, I won't have to.
That was a terrible Ronald Reagan, by the way.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, it happens.
If anyone else has a question for us, you can ask us in the YouTube comments or on the website. You can also ask us on the post on Facebook, facebook.com/RiverCityGamers. For now, though, let's get into video updates. And I'm going to flip this hockey puck to see who goes first. Shadow, you go first.
Oh. Well, for once, I actually have a legit update. The collaboration project that I'm working with Nightman is pretty much almost finished. The only thing I need is a title card, and watch the review with him to go over any issues I might have, in terms of directing, and then we'll just render it, and it should be uploaded hopefully by next month. It really depends on when I can get the title card. And that's pretty much all I have for video updates.
Okay, I'll go next. Obviously, I just posted Dual Heroes recently, so I'm going to start into the next SC on relatively soon, and I'm not going to like it, because it's getting into fuck my childhood territory. But that will come later. Maybe within a month or two, now that I don't have as heavy a schedule for class in particular. I'm also going to get back to the playthrough I'm doing on Stasis. I have a Storming the Baseline in the works. That'll be up probably within a week or two. And Unreal.
Yes.
By the time the next podcast comes out, we're going to record the first episode of Michigan Report from Hell.
All right, let's hope I don't have work on that day. But in general, yes.
Oh, and you know what? I'm not going to say what I'm working on. All I'm saying is, within the next month or so, there's going to be a teaser for a video series that I'm going to do. And that's it for me. Unreal, I don't know if you had anything else to add beyond Michigan.
Well, again, everything that's in the pipeline was mentioned in the previous podcast. But Too Long didn't read for that one. There is a crossover in the works still. Although I can't remember if this one piece of news related to what we were covering happened before the previous podcast or after. I think it happened after, which doesn't exactly throw a wrench into the plans, but is just something that I'm gonna have to consider in the end product.
There should still be time.
No, there'll be plenty of time. In fact, like,
It's just something to mention.
yeah, it is something that just needed minor adjusting is all, but still is kind of really just wow. There's probably some people that probably know what we're talking about, but in general, I'm keeping a little quiet on it because there's really nothing to show yet. Should I just say who I'm crossovering with? Unless I did last podcast, I do not remember.
You didn't.
Okay, so I guess I'll just say, not related to Michigan, me and SCR are doing a crossover review.
Surprise!
Surprise! Well, to be fair, I guess this is like the first crossover I've been a part of. I think.
Actually, I do remember crossover.
Full collaborative
Do
review?
you count me
maybe.
ambushing you with a Helix review?
No, I do not.
That old thing. Jeez.
I'm still keeping quiet on the game, although that's as much as I can go into.
Okay, I did mention in the last podcast that I've been working on a couple things. I am still working on those, although I have made some progress. For the new video series that I'm going to be debuting, I've filmed and narrated the everything, so I really just need to edit it all together now. And as for Mighty Number 9, well, I have played through the game. I've done pretty much almost all the recording I wanted to do for that, and then there'll just be a quick video on that. So that's really it, at least for the time being.
Is that going to be a kickback?
Yeah, it's a kickback.
Okay.
So it'll be a short review.
Well, that takes us to the end of the podcast. So once again, I'm SCXCR.
I am Unreal,
I'm Blondeguygamer.
I'm Shadow Snake,
and I'm going to bed. Thanks, Yakuza.
and I'm
Right,
going
good
to
night.
work.
And I'm going to